Well, there's been a significant decline in press freedom in the United States. Reporters Without Borders says the U.S. is now in 64th place, or in 46th place, out of 180 countries. The World Press Freedom Index for 2014 shows the U.S. suffered a 13-place drop compared with last year. Reporters Without Borders says the U.S. government's crackdown on whistleblowers and its spying scandal were largely to blame for the plunge. Meanwhile, the freedom of speech in Britain was viewed as less restricted, with the country in 33rd place. To discuss that further, we're now joined by Dan Dix, who is with Press for Truth, and he's joining us live now on the line from Seattle. Dan, thanks for joining us now. How do you assess press freedom in the United States?
Well, we're clearly seeing a huge decline in the freedom of the press in the United States, and this new report is just a testament to that fact, and it shows and proves that there is an attack on the freedom of information and the freedom of the press in the United States. I mean, when somebody like Edward Snowden can reveal some of the things that are happening in the U.S. government, and he is being considered as the enemy or a criminal, that just goes to show you just how far gone things are getting and how bad it actually is. So we know that there has been a huge attack on the Internet in the last few years, and certainly they're trying to clamp down on the freedom of the press in the United States. And, you know, the incredible thing about it is that the United States was founded on the principles of having freedom of the press in the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, and so the U.S. should really be leading the way in this. Technically, the United States should be number one in this effort. But because of the information that independent journalists are beginning to reveal to the world, the United States is certainly cracking down on the freedom of the press, and we're starting to see the proof of that.
And so, Dan, going forward then, should we expect the American public maybe to realize all of what you have said essentially about the erosion of the freedom of the press in their country?
You know, I think the American people are more and more beginning to realize that they are not getting the truth from the mainstream media. More and more people can sense that something is wrong. More and more people are realizing that they're being lied to, and they are beginning to look to alternative sources for information. And where they're going to the Internet. And they are finding all these alternative sources of information. So I do think there is hope. I think we're maybe at somewhat of a fork in the road, if you will, a crossroads, where, things could really take off, and the American people could wake up to the fact that they're being lied to, and they need to go to alternative sources for information. So I do think there is hope that, the American people can still wake up to the fact that they're being lied to on a daily basis in the mainstream, and need to continue to support programs like this and other news stations that are willing to get the truthful information out there at any cost.
Okay, Dan, thanks a lot for that. That was Dan Dix speaking to us live from Seattle.